comedian Jerry Seinfeld has come under fire for calling out lefties losing it, saying wokeness is to blame for the lack of quality sitcoms on TV. Take a listen.
You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. Mm-hmm. When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke, well, that's the end of your comedy.
It's not the first time he's called out the left's toxic influence on comedy. He previously spoke out against the complaint that there's too many white men on TV, particularly on his programs.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes.
Yeah, let's get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here?
Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. You know, funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested.
Joining me now is entertainment and royal reporter Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, I do wonder whether Seinfeld, the program, would even be made today, or would it be considered too risque, too white, too heteronormative, perhaps?
Right. I was just thinking that about Friends. You know, they complain that there are not enough Black characters on Friends today. I often watch The Office and think that could never be the American version, and I think that could never be made today. Even sometimes I'll watch Tim Allen's Tool Time before bed, and some of the jokes I go, ooh, that's a little edgy for today's material. But, you know, Seinfeld didn't say anything wrong, and you're right, he is getting slammed for it online. All he said is, we're so worried about offending people that it's taken a hit to comedy, and comedy is not as special as it used to be. And I think if you do watch 80s and 90s sitcoms, you do experience those belly laughs, and you realize that it is hard to find content like that today.
Oh, absolutely. And it's no surprise that the best comics right now, the ones who demand the biggest audiences, Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, are very much not politically correct. They do not give a stuff about offending people. They just worry about what's funny. And I do wonder what a modern Seinfeld would look like. Would we have to have, I don't know, Kramer be gay or a pansexual? Elaine would probably have to be Black or Hispanic or some ethnic minority. George would probably be disabled. Jerry would be non-binary and on the spectrum. I mean, you could just imagine all the different characters you would have to be properly inclusive and reflecting of society. And that's all fine as long as the product is still funny. But sadly, these days, they seem to be so preoccupied with ticking boxes, they forget about the actual quality of the writing. Now, let's talk about Taylor Swift. Her latest album has come out, and the clips of the listening parties of her fans, oh my gosh. Now, this is going to be controversial, but some of these clips, Kinsey, are just cringe. Have a look. There are so many others like that, even people, older adults, having absolute meltdowns, emoting wildly, Kinsey, listening to this album. It's like a cult, a cringe cult.
Well, I just am constantly embarrassed for people on the internet. Like, do you not think that you might apply for a job in 3 years and somebody might Google you and stumble upon this and think this person is emotionally unstable and I don't want them working at my Home Depot? I do think she's getting a lot of hate over this album. And you and I were just talking about how friendship bracelets. This is a grown woman. You know, I think we're hearing that grown woman on this album. So I do want to stress that when we were talking about the friendship bracelets and everything, when I was listening to the album, I thought, I wonder if Rita is hearing the grow up that I'm hearing throughout it. And you know, analytics matter, and 2.61 million units were sold in the U.S. alone in the week ending in April 25th. So whether the Swifties are crazy or not, it's sending Taylor all the way to the bank.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the songs on the album is called Thank You, Amy. It's supposed to be a diss track aimed at Kim Kardashian, with the lyrics referring to a bronze spray tan statue and also this. And one day your kid comes home singing a song that only us two is going to know is about you. What do you make of this? Is this aimed at Kim Kardashian, or are people, is there another Kim in her life that she hates? Because I would be surprised if she's still worried about this so many years later. You would have thought it would be a very minor issue in her life that doesn't really warrant a song being devoted to it.
Well, there are over 31 songs, or there's over 30 songs here, I think. So I do think that this is kind of a vault and a purge, and her releasing things that she doesn't want to address ever again. I do think Kim Kardashian's nasty and mean. You know, we saw the way she teased the Princess of Wales during the Where is Kate drama. Kim Kardashian posted all of her latex photos and said, "On my way to find Kate." So I do think she's a nasty girl. And if Taylor Swift wants to take it to her, God bless. I'm all about that life.
You're in Team Swift there, absolutely. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see a proper fight between these two, because this goes back to when I think Taylor Swift took issue with some lyrics in Kanye West's song, and then Kim released an audio, I think, of Taylor saying that she was okay with the lyrics, and then when the song was released, audio. She wasn't. Am I remembering that right? Because your knowledge on this stuff is much better than mine.
Yeah, it turned out to be edited. So that's what was so upsetting to Taylor, is that Kim Kardashian had edited it to make it look like it was clean cut. Yes, you can use these lyrics, because they were really vulgar about her, remember? They were about fornicating, Kanye and Taylor. And so that is why she was so upset. But also don't forget, Rita, that Meghan hand wrote Taylor a letter begging her to be on the Archetypes podcast, and Taylor sent her representatives to tell her she was too busy. So we love Taylor.
I'm on the fence with Taylor. I don't dislike her. I don't love her. I'm just, to me, I don't. I marvel at the fans and their meltdowns. That's far more entertaining for me. I've got to ask you about Britney Spears very quickly. She seems more and more troubled. The footage that comes out of her, that she puts out there dancing, doing some erratic dancing with knives. We know she's no longer with her husband. Her kids, very sadly, won't see her. And sometimes it seems, Kinsey, she's spiralling and she's got no one to look after her. Was the whole Free Britney movement wrong? Did they get it wrong? Does she actually need someone to keep an eye on things?
And the man she's been seen with recently is like a felon that was cleaning her house. I mean, yes, I think that the Free Britney movement came from a good place, but I don't think that we understood how deeply unsettled she is. I do think she has mental health issues. These types of videos are exactly why her sons choose not to associate with her. They've said to the media that they're humiliated by the type of content she puts out on the internet, and they want to disassociate. And so I do think she's in desperate need of help, but unfortunately, she really doesn't trust anybody because she felt so violated over those 13 years that she was under that conservatorship.
Now, let's talk about another child star, Charlotte Church. We all remember her. She had that angelic voice as a child. Well, she's saying that she's no longer a millionaire. 25 years after she recorded her first album, aged just 11, it sold millions of copies worldwide, and she was said to have a fortune close to 50 million by the age of 12. What happened, Kinsey? Where did all the money go? We know now these days she's a activist. She's very much a leftist activist, and she's gone woke and gone broke. But really, seriously, what happened to that enormous wealth?
I mean, she kind of alludes to the fact that she just blew it in this article where we find out that she's selling her home. She said, I wanted the mansion. I wanted the mansion by the forest. And then she talks about how she's spent years renovating it. I mean, how sad to pour so much money into a property that you inevitably have to give up because you can't afford it. But it sounds like she just did not manage her money well. But it's funny you say that she's an activist, because I only know her as an activist today, and she complained in that article about how her stepfather pushed her to continue music after the age of 14 because she didn't really like it. But now that the funds are low, she's decided she really wants to pursue music again.
Yes, well, let's see if she's still got that angelic voice. Let's talk Rebel Wilson. The Aussie actress's memoirs are going to be on sale in the UK. There was a bit of a delay, but they're there, minus some very key paragraphs, chapters involving the Sasha Baron Cohen allegations. They've been redacted. But I do wonder whether the damage is done here, Kinsey, and whether Sasha Baron Cohen should have made such a fuss. It's almost like the Streisand effect here. Everyone knows what she has said, even if they can't read it in her book in some countries.
Everyone knows what she said, and on top of that, like the icing on the cake was the announcement of his divorce and this hidden separation for years between him and his wife, which also magnified the allegations, because whether she hasn't said anything, but the immediate public perception is that he is this man, and that's why this sweet wife, that this trophy on his arm that always kind of got him into these rooms he normally wouldn't be allowed into. I think that it almost made people think that this truly was who he is as a person. And it's not hard to get online and find those chapters. So I do think that it has hurt his credibility. I think it's hurt his reputation a little bit. But like we said, at the end of the day, Hollywood is completely backwards. If he can make somebody a buck, he will be back on a movie set tomorrow.
Well, he strenuously denies all those allegations, so we should point that out. Before you go, you mentioned Meghan earlier, and she's had a few more celebrities post pictures of her jam jars. This is Meghan Markle's big genius idea for her lifestyle brand, strawberry jam, and probably the biggest star so far to post about this product is ChrisJenner. She's the mother of the Kardashians and the Jenner girls. How do you see this, Kinsey? Is this a massive coup for her? A lot of people are saying, obviously, ChrisJenner just didn't even bother opening the package for the longest time because the lemons there don't look in the best shape. And but she has belatedly posted it. Is that an enormous success, or is it all a little bit sad?
I mean, I think it's a poor reflection of Meghan because, like I said earlier, Kim Kardashian teasing Kate right before we found out she has cancer. It doesn't look like the company that Meghan keeps is very good when you're associating with people that would be so insensitive during a time where we knew for a fact that the Princess of Wales was recovering from a major surgery. So I think it's just gross. Who cares what Kris Jenner gets a lot of stuff for free, and I bet she tosses half of it, if not most of it, and I bet that jam's already in the dumpster.
Well, yeah, I don't think the Kardashians like the carbs too much. So yeah, if you want them to actually try your product, probably a jam is not the way to go. Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you.